Okay, so how do plants reproduce?
They need water and they need sun.
And then?
And the ground.
And then they do what?
They grow.
And when it's time to reproduce?
They do flowers and they grow pollen.
Yeah, what is the pollen?
The seeds.
The pollen is the male things. So the pollen is pollinizing. It's like, this is sexual reproduction. So there are two types of plant reproduction, sexual and asexual. The humans, we can reproduce only sexually, but the plants, they can reproduce sexually and asexually. So one big side in what we do is the sexual reproduction, so the pollinization and the creation of local hybrids. So this cherry, which is super tasty, is loving with the other cherry through the bees. And then from the seed, we have a local hybrid, which is even better local cherry. But most of the plants, they do the following. They do sexual reproduction, and then after this is over, they start the asexual reproduction. This is their plant B. So for example, the strawberries, what they do, they give fruits. In the fruits, there is little seeds. So if you plant these seeds, there will be a strawberry. That's how mature in the scientific created so many tasty varieties. But after this, what they do like whoop, one stuff, and there is a small strawberry. You remember this? So this is the asexual reproduction. So many of the plants, they grow, they give seeds, they drop the seeds sexually, and then they fall on the ground and they do a root here, so they can create. So what we want to, of course, we can observe the nature how it does this, but we can also boost it, let's say.
But this non-sexual reproduction has the same genes. It's not changing anything, right?
Exactly. Which can be good or bad. So when we do sexual reproduction, we never know exactly what is going to be the result. So often it is not better, and we need to, like in this case, we destroy this plant, we use it for firewood, or we graft on it. But when we do cuttings or cloning, exactly cloning, it is to take the same genetic material, so to reproduce absolutely the same plant. And we will take the example of the stevia plant. For example, this is a stevia plant. It all begin with one small stevia plant, which was offered to us by my aunt. My aunt she's retired now. She was working in the Bulgarian Academy of Science, and her colleagues who are about plant, they brought the best stevia in Bulgaria, so we can do massive reproduction of stevia. Stevia, you know what it is? Yeah. It is the plant.
It's sweet.
Which tells your brain that it's sweet, so it is 20 times sweeter than the sugar, so sweet that it's bitter. Yeah.
This one not sweet.
It's too sweet. And then they all reproduce it only by cloning, to guarantee that we have the same variety of stevia. And we want also the right moment. Yeah, there is the book of the Austrian couple, which is called Точното време, the right time. It's about the moon cycles. The moon has a quite complicated cycle, so the moon will be on the same spot in exactly the same every 36 years. So but we have ascending moon and descending moon. You know what that means? What that means?
This one is ascending and this one is descending.
Exactly like in the summer, the sun goes very high, and in the winter, the sun goes not so high. Also, the moon starts going higher and higher on the sky, and then lower and lower.
Yeah.
So when the moon goes higher and higher, it is ascending moon. And the moon, being a satellite, is attracting all the liquids on the planet. It's provoking the oceans to move, as we know. It influences us, being humans, full of liquid. It influences also the plant. So when the moon is pulling with gravity, so when the moon is higher in the sky, the power of the plant is in the top part, in the upper part, because you have the plant has a part above the ground and the part under the ground. And Rudolf Steiner has this picture of the plant and the human, like this upside down, because what we do, the humans, he say, we have our brain. Our brain is like an antenna, like a radio. With this brain, we can perceive the different thoughts which are in the astral world, and we can receive positive or negative, stupid or genius thoughts. So we receive through the head, and we reproduce through here. But the plant is the opposite. The plant has its head in the ground, because the root of the plant is the head of the plant. It receives the juice from the ground with the head. So this is water with dissolved mineral salts. That's how plant nourishes. And the plant is reproducing from the top. So the sexual organs of the plant are on the top. So it's like upside down, the human and the plant. And now it's a moment where the moon is pulling the liquid. So all the consciousness, or most of it, of the plant is here. Because you know they have cycle. What cycle they have? In the winter, the plants, they hide in the roots. Some of the plants, they even die the top part. The consciousness of the plant goes down. And then with the spring, the plants grow. And now it's what? Now it's the longest day of the year. So the plant is completely full on. Also, lots of flowers, they open. On lunchtime, they are open it. And for the night, they close. So this is the daily cycle, the year cycle. But they also have a moon cycle with the ascendant and descendant moon. And because now the plant is full on, if I cut this, it will be quite harmful for the roots. So when you harvest plant for mass production, for example, I want to do a lot of tea, I will prune my mint every time on a new moon or on the descending moon, because the strength of the plant, most of the juice with the mineral salts will be on the roots. And every time I cut, the plant will grow more and more and more, because when the juice goes up, it will grow new plants. But when you want important things, for example, when you want your plant to be really medicinal, then you cut it in this moment of the year. That's why in Bulgaria we have any of them, which is 3 days after the summer solstice. It was just 2 days ago. So now the plants, they are super powerful. So what we can do, I count, you see here the leaves start, I count 1, 2, 3, and I cut, sorry dear, up. And from here you will see it will grow 2 like this, 2 like this, and 2 like this. So in a few time it will be a new stevia. But this is full of power now. So I want to do cuttings. First of all, we're gonna recolt, and this will be super medicinal because we are recolting it exactly on this very important time. So we collect this. We remove the leaves because the plants has no roots. Now we want to help the plants to grow roots, but they are not yet here, so they will not be able to fill all these leaves because the leaves are evaporating. So we need to cut most of the leaves, if not all of them. I'll just leave some very small leaves here. This will be for our breakfast or for the jams we do and the compotes. And the top part I remove also. So with this we're gonna do cuttings. The person who taught me was Papayan, this Irish man who was a druid. So in most of the books about gardening, you will see we have in each plant we have nodes and internodular space. Node, internodular space. Node, space between the nodes and nodes. So they say you just cut under the nodes like this. That's what is written in the books. Hop. And here you see this white tissue, which is like half moon.
Yeah.
This is called, you have la meristem collinaire apicale, meristem collinaire racinaire. I was studying this in French, so I don't know how it will be exactly in English, but this is a meristema. Meristema, these are cells which only divide. They divide without differentiating. So these are cells which can turn into anything. They're universal cells. In this case, these cells, for the moment they were just growing, but now they will turn into roots because we want this. So this will give roots, this will bury, and we will leave this on the top. So I cut here. So this will be our cutting. Can you take it, please?
And what we will do with the rest?
We'll do more cuttings. So but Papayan, what he was teaching us, the druid, was very interesting, his approach, how to do. He say, imagine the branch which will grow from this bud. how this branch will have a form. So, because with the time you really start imagining very well how they grow, and then you want to cut this branch on this way, like this, to cut this future unexisting branch like this on the long. So you put your secateur like this. I visualize the branch which will grow here, and I cut the branch on a half. Click. And then you see if you had a good imagination. It's like a game every time. If you did it properly, you have a complete ring of white cells. You see, I have almost a complete ring. He was calling it the wedding ring, because if you do it really well, you have like a ring with a precious stone on the top. And this is, from this, the roots will start growing. So this will be under the ground. We have one under the ground. We have two above the ground. And click. So this is the second cutting we have. And we don't touch them under to don't infect them. So now...
but my question was, we only cut this not straight one. It's not going in the earth, right? Like
But here it's straight.
you said you will imagine how the plant will grow,
Yeah.
but it cannot be on the side where the roots are. It's only for...
Any of this can be a root. It's a potential, because these are meristema, and meristema are cells which can turn into anything. They can turn into leaves, they can turn into fruits, they can turn into roots. But in our case, they will turn into roots, so you will see why. So the earth will be a little bit until here, so you have two nodes under the soil and two nodes above the soil. So these nodes, they will give leaves, and these nodes, they will give roots. So now, thank you. Again, I take this, I imagine and I cut it. Wow, look now, the wedding ring. You see a ring with a precious stone on the top. Can you imagine this? Or
I want
toi,
to
tu
see
vois?
it in
Tu
the
vois?
Oh, ok, ça fait un tir, ça fait un tir.
Voila. So this is a good cut. These cuttings, you put them in water, in one jar of water, but together with the same cutting from the plant of willow, Salix alba. Salix, so you know comment ça s'appelle? Le sol pleureur.
Oh.
Because this plant is synthesizing rooting hormone. Because you have, exactly as we humans, we have hormones, the plants also have hormones. So there are 5 main groups of phytohormones. Phytohormones, it means hormones for plants. And the 5 groups are auxini, gibberellini, cytokinini, abscissine acid, and ethylene. So each of these 5 groups of hormones are responsible for different things, for growth, for flowering, for creating fruits, for the fruits to be red, and all this. But we want the hormones which are to make roots. So there are a few ways, and I will tell you the most simple ways. So one of the ways is the way of Papayan. You put this together with salix, with the willow. And because the willow is liberating the rooting hormone, you know, the willow, wherever you put the willow will make roots. Because she's the boss of rooting hormone. She's creating rooting hormone. So she will put the hormone in the water, and all your cuttings, they will start giving roots because of the willow. Second way, you take lentils and you sprout the lentils. We know already how to sprout. Watch the video about how to sprout. And with sprout lentils, then you smash the sprouted lentils, and they are full also of rooting hormone because they just created roots. And the third way, you go to the phytopharmacy and you buy a rooting hormone. Ta-da!
Phytopharmacy?
Yeah, there is pharmacy for plants, when usually you buy the worst chemicals. But you can also buy the hormone for rooting, is called. And this is also a simple way. Because with this box, you will have for 3-4 years, actually. See, just a white powder. Don't want to see things like this. I know you come from the training, but... So this is the rooting hormone. And now we just do like this, very gently. And Then we do like this, and this is ready to be put on the ground. So we take this, and this is the mixture. You remember how you did the mixture?
Soil, sand, and wet with rock.
Yeah, so soil, sand, and perlit. For us, the best soil is the compost from the Californian worms. And why we put the sand and the perlit? Because we want always to be aerated. So the rooting plants, they love moisture, but they hate to be underwater only. So that's why the perlit, this rock, will always create moisture, but also air. That's why I asked you to completely fill, because you see now when I did boom, 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 it's not full anymore. So what we need to do is now not to push the plant like this in the soil, because it will harm this tissue. So we need to take another
So you
stick.
smoke it.
Yeah. These are the old habits from many years ago. So you do like this, you take one stick, you make the hole first, and then you put your stuff in the hole. So 2 nodes under the ground, 2 nodes above the ground, and then you very well want to push the soil around. Like this. And then when we are ready, we will really very well water them, and we always keep them moist. That's why we have this common. It's a very simple way. It's to put a lots of pots with the same underpot, and to be sure that you always have some water in the underpot. So for example, we want the water to be up to here, so this will be underwater, and then by capillarity the water will go up, and our rooting plant will always be in the same time in the moisture, but in the same time with air, because this is the fabulous magic of the elements: air, water, soil, love, and sun, of course, the fire of the sun.
But when we compact it now, it has less air, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's dangerous to have too much air.
Okay.
So it is so fluffy, because you remember we put it so much sand and perlit, so it cannot be without air. The perlit guarantee that you cannot make it moldy or underwater.
What is perlit?
Perlit is one rock, one very fluffy rock. I will show you. It's very light.
Is it the white thing?
Yeah, they use it isolation for houses.
Ah, wow. It also, yeah.
Yeah, it's like polystyrene, but it's not polystyrene.
Is it natural?
Yeah, it's a rock.
It's a rock. Okay.
Yeah. So let's do this. You do this. You put your cutting into the hormone. Then you do a hole, and I will provide some more plants to be cut. So we have another way to do cuttings. Of course, we remove the leaves like this. It is called to a cutting on a heel, like the heel of the leg. So when we have a position like this, you do just like this, and hop, you split this. You see how much of the white tissue we have all along this here. Here is very visible. You see, all this is the white tissue, which is the meristema, which can create the root. So this is called to make cutting on a heel. So again, we do this, and then you put all of this into the... Oh, I cut it its head, but it's gonna work anyway.
So it's 1, 2.
I mean, it will be under here, under the ground. You just leave above the ground a little bit. 2, 3 above the ground. Along. So it's a mixed technique between the heel and the node. In the same time on the node, in the same time I'm going all along this. And here you see the white cells. This is good. Then I remove the extra leaves, because we don't need so much leaves. And this you can directly plant. I put it here, and it's ready to dive in the hormone and to plant. And this we eat.
And it has
Yeah.
These are very appropriate to do the heel. So we do like this, and here hop. Wow, so many white tissue for the roots. Remove the extra leaves. Leave some small leaves on the top. And this is ready to be
Nice.
planted.